Critters in Taiwan.
I was on my way home tonight and I heard this thing. That's like one of the nature podcasts that I listen to. They drop facts every week, and this one fucking blew my mind.
You can see my toilet right there. That's where I shit sometimes.
Yeah, definitely can see your toilet. So do you know what a bacteriophage is?
Bacteriophage.
Yeah.
Is that when they take out a particular type of bacteria?
No, it's an organism that eats bacteria.
Oh, okay. Because I've heard of a genophage from Mass Effect.
Right. This is about a bacteriophage is an organism. It's debatable whether it's living or not because it only reproduces by copying itself inside of a bacteria. It's basically a virus, but it only attacks
a virus for bacteria.
Yeah, it's a virus for bacteria.
That's some meta shit, dude.
It's wild. So I knew there was a lot of them on Earth because there's a fuck ton of bacteria.
Yeah.
So like they are like a trillionth the size of a bacteria. They're very fucking tiny, right?
Of a standardish like E. coli bacteria.
No, that's what they eat. So they're like a trillionth the size of that.
Right. Of a standard size E. coli.
They're like a cell in our body. So if our body was a bacteria, they're like a cell.
Right.
Size.
That's the size difference. That's insane.
It's insane, right? Like it's wild. So it's like the same thing as a virus that gets us, like a coronavirus.
Right.
It's just way smaller. So anyway,
microscopic the microscopic.
Those aren't real numbers. I'm just making them up, but that's like just an analogy for what it is like. So they are incredibly small, right? But they are so abundant on Earth that if you were to stack them on top of each other, one on each, like one on top of the other,
end on end, yeah,
every single one on Earth, they would stretch a distance of 200 million light years.
That's wait, it's either 2 or 3 to Andromeda.
4.
4.
Yeah.
Holy shit. So half the distance to the nearest galaxy.
No, Andromeda is the nearest. Oh, Andromeda. Yeah. No. Sorry. Andromeda. I thought you were saying. Never mind. Andromeda is like.
Wait, sorry. No, I'm getting the width of the galaxies.
Okay,
I'm getting. Yeah.
Right. So the Milky Way, for comparison, the Milky Way is about 90 million.
Yeah.
In diameter.
Yeah, and this would be 200.
This is more than double the width of our galaxy.
Wow! If they stacked end on end.
If you stacked all the bacteriophages on end. The fuck does that even mean?
Where are you getting this information? Is this a class you're teaching? What's going on here?
It's a podcast that I listen to about science facts.
No, if you said that,
every week they do facts, and that was one of them. I'm just like, what?
That's insane. I would love to listen to 30 minutes of that shit.
Yeah,
Jeez.
it's called No Such Thing as a Fish.
I'm hearing a little clip in here, but you're not clipping over there. Am I clipping to you at all?
Nope. Sounds fine.
I wonder if it's just my thing. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
But not a problem. Hey, dude, we are on the internet.
Hey, we're on the internets. Right on. Welcome to Welcome to Critters in Taiwan, a D&D podcast.
I just spit on my
Critical
screen.
Role.
Damn it. Sorry.
Did you?
Yeah. It's just.
It's
not beer. It's just saliva. No, I know. What the fuck, man. I can see the little pixel things. Oh, shit.
Where a bunch of nerdy-ass voice actors sit around and play Dungeons and Dragons. I am Ben and Gao Sheng.
I am Tim and Tai Zhong.
And we're Critters in Taiwan spitting on screens.
Yeah, okay. And this is my curved screen, man. How do you clean that? Oh, jeez. That's fine. That's fine. I'll figure it out.
As
It'll
the late
scratch
great,
that shit.
As
Remember
the late
that.
great powerful Dan Dalio would always say, wood fibers cut glass.
Mm-hmm.
He came from a timber city town place, Prince George. Lots of. I actually think he went to school for silviculture or something along those lines. He worked in a lumber mill, pulp and paper company or something like that. Place that made. I forget what the story is, but he always used to say, "Don't ever use tissue to clean glass; it'll cut the glass, scratch the glass."
I mean, they said that a long time ago, but the problem with that is they don't tell you why. You know, like I saw a dentist the first time I went back to the States to get my teeth finished, you know, and I had seen the same, what do you call them? A dental assistant, because it was just a cleaning. And I was like, oh, you were actually the last person to clean my teeth. And it was 15 years later. And oh, geez, I was. And, you know, still no cavities. I'm lucky, knocking on wood if you can't hear that. And but then she was like, oh, yeah, but you should floss. And I was like, okay, but I don't usually have shit between my teeth. She's like, oh, no, it's about not massaging your gums, but stimulating your gums so that it can
prevents gingivitis or something like that.
Yeah, it stimulates some bacteria growth or something like that like keeps your teeth. If they told me that when I was fucking 5 years old, I'd have been flossing the whole time. And now that she finally told me when I was like, what, 38? Now I floss every day. Like, oh, that's all you got to do. 35,
38?
Whatever.
Jesus, fuck, you're old.
Well, Hey, we're talking about an episode of Critical Role.
We certainly are. We're talking about episode number 95. Gathering of Needs.
Gathering of Needs. Okay, yeah. Not so much on the nose because there's not a whole lot to be on the nose about in this episode.
No, this was a transition. This was a much needed transition episode.
Yeah, and even Travis got on board, and he did some good math too.
There was, dude, his accounting skills were on point. I did some quick. I was writing it down as they were going.
Jeez,
and
you're such a good listener.
It's hard to know because he rattled off a bunch of numbers and like I turned the subtitles on, so I'm like paying attention, but it still didn't seem to quite work out, but whatever, it's all good. Because at the very end he goes, oh yeah, no, and also we can get that potion of haste as well. I'm like, wait a minute.
I don't think so.
No,
what was that, like 4,000
I
something?
think that goes over 3,000 or something, whatever it was.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
3,500,
think you've
right?
gone over. I think you, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah. But in my group, I don't even fucking let them think about what I just go. Just if you can. So because in my campaign, stuff is super, super rare. So if they even find it, they can have it.
Huh. But what about price though? You know?
Well, the prices are weird because at the beginning, stuff is really, really rare, and they started it with basically no gold. And then when they scraped up a little bit of stuff doing some like finding money or defeating, finding some treasures and stuff. Then they get to the general store and the prices are like 10 times what they are in the book. So they're using the player's book and they're like, oh, I'd like to get some rope. That's only like 5 gold. I'm like, you asked for rope and he tells you it's 25 gold for 50 feet. And they're like, what? I only have 18. I'm like, stuff is rare here. Yeah, shitty. It's resource poor.
Yeah, I mean, like looking back at campaign 1 when what's his name? Gold suit. What's his name?
Gilmore?
No. Fucking thinking of names on the spot has just been my anti-forte, which also I can't remember that word. Tyrion Darrington.
Yes.
He comes in and he's like, oh no, don't worry about this. Like he only had like 50,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
Where they all had, I think, a little bit more than that. And he's like, oh, don't worry about this. I have this. And he's like, I ran out of money. Yeah. And that fucking amazing scene.
It was incredible.
Sam's crying. Not Sam, but the Tyrion is crying. Oh, anyway. Yeah, 50,000 is not that much when you get later on in the campaign, which is where we are right now. Pretty close. Late on.
Yeah, it's level 13.
Level 13.
I think I mentioned this last week or the week before. They are very D&D poor. No, this was last week because they were gifted 10,000. They asked for 10,000 gold. I'm like, that's stupid. They need way more than that.
I guess something to say about that.
At level 13, they do not have near enough gold.
Right.
It's like then that's a sort of a thing that a DM will do for reasons that are known only to them. So like in saying in the Curse of Strahd campaign, it's sort of you're transported to the demi-plane and nothing can get in or out. Well, some things can, but the Vampire Lord allows that. So everything is really, really hard to get, and that's supposed to be part of the campaign. You're just not supposed to be. Nothing is available there. So that's sort of a thing that you do in that setting. In Exandria, like for these campaign 1, campaign 2, campaign 1 was ridiculous because they all had way too many magical items, like Vax's Belt of Returning and Simon the Snake and Percy being a gunslinger. And EXU also that's in that same vein. So it can swing too far either way, and depending on what campaign it is or what setting is or what the DM is or what the table agrees to. So yeah.
Yeah. And I always trust Matthew at the table, of course. But I
Always.
also remember that when they went to Zadash and met Pumat Sol, he was like, "Oh yeah, so we got this," and they're like, "Oh wow," and he was like, "Yeah, so this will run you about 12,000
Yeah.
gold," and
Yeah.
they're like, "Whoa!" And they didn't really
Hmm.
quite have it yet
No.
in campaign 2 because they were like
Yep.
level 10 or 9
No,
or
not even
something,
not even that high. They were like
like
6 or
6.
7.
Yeah,
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 they got to Zadash the first time quite early. That was
yeah.
that was with the when they first got the beacon when they fought that elf, the dark
Right.
elf or the
That
Kryn elf.
that warrior of
Yeah,
sorts from
yeah,
the dynasty.
yes,
Dynasty? Yeah,
yes,
that's right. Yeah.
yeah. That was early on.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of that came up. It was a very interesting shopping episode. For
Very
one,
much.
because of Travis, because he fucking hates that shit, but he
Yep.
was on board this time. And then even Ashton, which would be perhaps the Travis of this campaign.
Mm.
He was like, "Okay, I think we need to get matching cloaks. I think we need to go shopping. We need to get some shit." They're going to
Yep.
Isilcross. They're going to
Yep.
Aor.
Yep.
Yeah. So it was expected,
It
but
was.
not a lot happened.
No, no, the couple of big things, but the big thing at the end
Couple.
is the one that has everybody talking about. We'll talk about
Develop.
that in a minute.
Yeah, developments happened, but not things like pertaining
Yes.
to progression of the story. So like side project kind of stuff happened, or side missions happened.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a video gamer like myself, yeah, yeah. Oh no, this guy's tired. You see
It's been a
that?
long-
He
it's been a long
tried to
couple of
hide it.
days. I tried to stifle that one, but it's there. Shall we throw some math rocks?
You're usually way better at stifling it
I
than
don't
that.
know. I'm tired, man. It's been a long week.
This
Long
guy,
weekend,
this guy's
long
busy.
week.
This guy's busy, and I'm the opposite. I'm fucking chilling, dude. All right, hey, yeah, let's get some rollies. This might be a short episode. I know we say that every single fucking week, but this one might have to be as well. So yeah, let's get right into some rollies. Here we go. The Matt die 1, so you're gonna lose all of them.
13.
11. God damn it.
Okay, I'm going to throw this one out right away because just a quick one. This is right when the episode starts. They're interrogating Astrid Beck. Worst interrogation ever.
Oh yeah.
Essek clearly wanted it to be. Matt clearly wanted it to be, and they just sort of went along with it. And most of their shit was directed at Essek as opposed to Astrid. So whatever, but that's fine. They're
they're like level 6 characters at level 13.
Yeah,
That's what it feels like,
It feels like they weren't ready. They weren't really on board with interrogating.
Yeah,
this
they feel so
archmage.
nubile,
They kind of just wanted to, I don't know, get some information. They didn't get very much, but
or
one
just
bit,
talk to an NPC that they haven't, seen since last
Yeah,
campaign or whatever.
right. The one bit that I got was, I got a timestamp for this, at 50
Hey.
50 minutes 50 seconds. Travis's reaction to Astrid mention of the fiery purple bird that was terrorizing the land.
Oh, I didn't see it.
I will be honest. He fucking blew up. Travis, not Chetney. This is Travis, because he full on was like, "You guys, you don't recognize that? You don't know who that?" Like in not even whatever. And I got to be honest. I didn't either. I was like,
I didn't either. I still don't.
Fiery bird, and I was like, "Is that a
But purple
phoenix?
flame.
Phoenix?" And then I suddenly clicked. I'm like, "Oh, he remembers it because of Ukatoa." When they were
You can't
in,
whisper it first. You got to say it first,
oh yeah,
dude.
right,
Come on.
right.
Wait, try again. All right, I'll edit this part
So
out.
he
Wait, so
he knows
who?
he knows it because of Ford, who was worshiping Ukatoa. The remember when they were in
I'll edit that out.
in the the Menagerie Coast in the islands. I don't remember the island name.
Shatter.
Nope. No. The other side. The where the serpent gods were. The people, the half serpent, the half snake.
Oh,
they
I
were
don't
in the
remember that
ziggurat
name.
in the big pyramid, and they climbed down into the pyramid, way down at the bottom. There were
Yeah.
the 3 pictures: one of Ukatoa, one of a giant worm, and one of a phoenix.
Oh.
And that was all I knew about that. So that's when I went to Reddit. That phoenix is Deseret.
Yo, this is good info, bro.
That phoenix is Deseret, the mount and companion of
Fern's dad?
Asmodeus,
Asmodeus.
the betrayer god, Asmodeus, the one that was banished in the
Which is the god that fucking Fern is dealing with right
well,
now.
that's his champion. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
His current is that how far it went already?
Yeah.
His
Well, no,
champion is
he
Fern?
was the champion. He was the champion of Asmodeus, who was coming to fight the demons.
Wait, sorry,
that
who?
Wait, who are you? What are we talking
I'm
about?
talking about Fern here.
Ye-
She's like, hey, if you need touch with Asmodeus, am I getting this wrong? I got his number.
She has the ring that the champion. Remember when they
She
went
talked to the champion, so
she
she's
flirted
not
with
the champion. Yeah,
she's got a ring that
yeah.
all she has to do is like rub that little ring, or it's not a ring, it's like a charred mark on her finger,
Right.
and she's like, I've got his number. It's not really his number. Is that she can call his champion to help them.
Yeah.
Potentially, we don't really know that for sure, but yeah, that's what it is. So Deseret was Asmodeus's imprisoned mount that the original Cerberus assembly imprisoned underneath Mount Mentiri in Comorda.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is one of those things that the Mighty Nine is probably dealing with, potentially, because remember we were like when we saw the one shot in London, they first defeated Trent, then they went and they're like, no, now we have to go do other stuff. This is probably one of the things they had to do, was either them or whoever else has to go put this Phoenix back in its jail or banish it somehow. Who knows?
Yeah. I like the idea of the purple flame, and now that you've said this, I'm like, oh shit, this is a big fucking deal here.
There's a big deal. So Essek also mentions a bunch of things about Rexingtrum, about how Rexingtrum is dealing with a whole bunch of flare-ups for things that were imprisoned there that have broken out. Don't go there; it's kind of dangerous. And then he talks about they talk about the so my big question is, does that mean that like the Mighty Nine also went after Uk'otoa and vanquished Uk'otoa in the ocean, but does that also mean that Kwajath is free somewhere? That's the giant worm.
Yeah.
So these are the three demigods that were like they are not full gods, but they're like stepped down. So Uk'otoa is sort of the secondary to the Chained Oblivion, I think, if I'm getting that right. And then Asmodeus is the Deseret is second to Asmodeus, and then Kwajath is, or maybe Kwajath is the Chained Oblivion.
Damn.
The Crawling King. I think.
Crawling
and then
King.
Uk'otoa is.
Uk'otoa.
No, we don't.
It's a demigod.
Is like a second, like a demigod to the Great Old One. I don't remember. I haven't read the Explorer's Guide, so I don't really know what the whole lore about this stuff is because
It's also different names for the Watsi, and then like when they have to be safe with Watsi. So now I'm getting all confused because like every god that there was now has another name. So I'm all fucking fucked up.
Yeah,
with
they throw the names. I know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but
that's my first.
This is quite interesting though, because I mean I don't know if this is yes and or not, but with Uk'otoa being out there, thank you. Thank you.
If Uk'otoa is out there, because it might actually not be, because the Mighty Nine might have vanquished it at the ocean. I don't know. What that status is, right?
Or maybe it's re-released or whatever.
Can't be killed. I don't know.
Yeah, but then also this raises a ton of questions because why was Uk'otoa out, and why were the other two the other two not released at that moment? When Uk'otoa was the only one out.
Who knows?
Come on, I said it. You have to do it.
Deseret.
No, I said Uk'otoa, dude.
Uk'otoa.
There you go. There, you got to do it twice, though, because I said it twice.
Uk'otoa twice.
Perfect. So now, so we don't know anything about the worm, right?
No idea.
It's probably out somewhere. And I don't know how that shit works, but
Earth Ashari are dealing with it, for sure.
All right. Well, I guess I could.
That's me.
I could, yes, yeah, and that was just my initial thoughts. I
got an add-on. Can I do a quick little add-on for it?
Do it while I look.
Because it's kind of fun. Because like 15 minutes later, when as they're leaving the Chastity's Nook, Iva asks if that's the owner of the Chastity's Nook. She asks if you can look in on Yusa Arenas. Yusa, the mage, the Tide Peak Tower in Nicodranus. One. What does he have in his possession? The goddamn fucking Happy Fun Ball. And who is the owner of the Happy Fun Ball? Or who is the creator? Halas. So if all of these other fuckers have escaped, what do you think the odds are that Halas has escaped as well? And that's where Yusei is right now. That's who Yusei is right now, is the vessel for Halas's reincarnated soul, whatever.
Matthew is fucking this
Evil.
planet up.
Yep.
Because, like, if Halas is getting out, I mean, this is chaos. What's going on right now? And lewdness, like they said, it's like, okay, people do things for, getting in touch, whatever he's saying.
I was doing this.
Oh, we couldn't see her on the screen. Hazel, right?
That's Hazel, yeah.
She always gets super jealous when we go live.
Yeah, she just wants some attention.
Fair enough. What was I saying? Lewdness, of course, like everybody knows, especially high power mages, the dirty wizard. He's like number one, who's still on the good side. That's like, man, like when you get this powerful, you got to be careful because they just go for power no matter what. So lewdness is out there, insanely powerful, like level 20 plus, whatever the fuck that means.
We have no idea what it is. Yeah.
And he's sitting there just like, hey, let's release Halas. And it's like, well, there's a reason. Well, they trap themselves, sure. But then also it's like, oh, no. And they talk to them through this gem. And they're like, you know what? Let's stop this. And then what was it, Essek that said? Like, no, let me hold on to this because that is way too much power for y'all fucking 14 level motherfuckers, right?
Right.
So lewdness is out there just like, no, let's free all that. He wants to free a god eater.
Yes, that's
so
right.
who wouldn't he fucking free with a binding of some sort? It's like, I will free you. However, you got to do this for me. It's a fucking tyranny, you know?
It's a fun one. I just to sort of add on to that, I had a wicked thought. As this is harkening back to the very end of the episode when they were talking about absorbing magical items using the harness. I suddenly had a fucking really fucking crazy thought. We know that Jesus, Hazel, be careful. We know that when cats get into that role, they're like,
she's
just
gonna
touch
get
me.
tossed.
She almost rolled herself right off the table. We know that Ludinus used a beacon in the Malleus Key to create the bloody bridge, and that's like Matt has sort of explained that it's the reason why the beacon is the reason why the Rudis is locked, because its Dunamatic magic has held it there. The amplification through the key is the reason why that the moon is locked and the bridge is able to be created.
Torment of Vax. Oof.
Yeah, that's something different. That's the sliver of divinity that they needed to actually create the bridge, but they needed to lock the. Yeah, I don't know. This is all speculation, right? But here's a thought that I suddenly had. We know that Ludinus has that fucking harness 2.0. We know that the Bell's Hells only have the first version or second version or an iteration of it.
A discarded version,
Yeah, he clearly has a better one because we learned that Astrid says he's got a little bit of an itch at the back of his neck, right? What do you think the odds are that Ludinus has absorbed a fucking beacon?
Oh.
I think they're pretty good. I think that if he was going to absorb something, that is one of the things that he would absorb. He would absorb giant fucking mythical huge pieces, and that's one of them. Don't fuck around with the little things.
Okay.
Do the big ones.
Yeah, fuck that magical spoon or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. So I was like, wait a minute. So maybe he can't, because we know that they had some, they recovered some way back in campaign 2. And they were looking at them, and he seemed not interested in them. But I think Matt goes back and goes, yeah, he was playing that he wasn't interested, but he's actually had them before, and he's absorbed one, and that's why he's the most powerful of all the powerful archmages.
Yeah, that's kind of why I say like level 20 plus, you know?
That's sort of what I'm getting at.
It's like he's, I still have the string on my finger, which is he's approaching demigod level as a mortal, you know? Because if he has this newfangled fucking cone thing that he can fucking absorb beacons and other shit.
If he absorbed a Luxem beacon, then that means he probably is immortal. Like, I'm sure that kind of thing would be that.
Right. timeless, right?
Yeah,
Or
well,
maybe
that's-
he has to go into stasis for whatever, for however long he wants to remain immortal, and he just comes back to life. Who knows? Who knows what's
Yeah.
going on? We're
Yeah.
going crazy. We got our tin hats over here.
Yeah.
Not Tim
Like
hats.
Matt,
Fuck
Matt
it, Tim
has
hats.
said very pointedly multiple times that that's what wizards in this world have done, in this universe have done, is that they create, if they can't find the spell they want, they create the spell they need.
You know what's fucked up? I still have the string on my finger. In this
that
world
is
where
kinda
wizards
fucked up.
exist and they have schools for it and everything, at what point do these students or do their advisors say, it's like, okay, you're powerful enough. Go ahead and stop. Do some research, but stop getting more powerful. And how many wizards do that? You know, that sounds so silly. Like, who doesn't want to learn more and get more? I mean, in their case, knowledge is literal power.
At this point, we're talking about mechanics versus meta versus meta versus, what's the opposite of meta? I'm not even sure. Just like it's mechanics of a game system versus
question.
the actual.
Get in touch. What's the opposite of meta?
I'm just thinking, like, in the mechanics of the game, you can only go to level 20. The mechanics of the game, you can only learn these spells. The mechanics of the game say you can only do this. But at some point, that becomes stupid because, of course, certain individuals are going to exceed those mechanics. It's just, there's outliers in every walk and part of life. So,
Can I pull this thing off?
yeah, do it.
I know that you and I talked about it. We kind of debated a little bit, but at one point, I swear that Matthew said that there are certain things that cannot be ingested by the cone backpack motherfucker.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, maybe he did. So maybe a beacon is not able to. So maybe we're wrong here. Because I don't remember.
Because that's what I'm thinking. Is I think he said like they're
you might be
magical
right.
items, but artifacts, it's just not even an option.
Oh yeah, that might have been a thing. That's right.
It's
It might have
definitely
been
an
on there.
artifact.
But that's the one they have.
Yeah. And but I don't know if there's a difference between relics and artifacts, or like who knows.
And that's the one they've got. Who's to say that Ludinus didn't make?
Oh, that's what you mean. The one that they have can't
Right.
do it, but maybe
Right.
his, because he was like, oh, this can't do a beacon. Let's work on it more. And now it can do a beacon.
Yeah, maybe.
There you go. That's what's
Like
up.
if you absorb enough with one, then you unlock the power to be able to create the better one. You're just leveling up, right?
Oh shit! Yeah, by the use of the device that you just fucking use.
Yeah. You're inceptioning the fucking device you're making.
Shit, man, everything's homebrew, so who knows what the fuck's gonna happen.
Hey, let's do some rollies.
All right, let's do another rolling. Let's do it.
Hazel, I need my papers.
18.
The
You're not
papers,
gonna
I need
beat
the
that.
papers, I need
You're
the
not gonna beat 18. You don't need papers.
Natural one.
Come on, that should give me 2 wins in a row.
Actually, Ludwig is a natural one.
Man, my points here are nowhere near as deep or heavy as the ones that we just talked about right there.
Fire away.
I'm gonna talk about, or I'm gonna bring up the idea of how either Keyleth or whomever asked them about the payment. How do you feel about how Matt, as the DM, handled? Because they were like, how much do you need? And they were like, and they all looked at each other and they're like, it's better if you just give us a number, and then just Chetney just like interrupted somebody and said, 10,000 gold. Yep. And I was like, shit, that's a lot of gold. And they were like, hey, 10,000, bring it,
Yeah.
And of course, Laura, she was like, shit, we should ask for 50 or whatever. How do you feel about that? Like, why, what's the motivation behind Matthew as far as asking them to give a number? Because what if they asked for 50?
They probably would have said no. We probably would have said something a little bit less, and they made it
roll persuasion or something, right?
Something like that, yeah.
And be like, okay, we can give you 15.
It's like, okay, like if you just shoot for the moon and be like, hey, give us 100,000 gold.
Right.
It's like, no, even a natural 20 on a persuasion check isn't going to give you 100,000 gold. It's just not going to work.
Yeah, but if you say it, be like, get your head out of your ass. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they all they were sort of struck in the moment. But if it was like, if I'm looking at it as like a player in that situation, I'm saying like, okay, right, we shoot for double what we think we're gonna get. And
right.
Travis, I was thinking 10,000 gold too, so I would have said 20.
I was thinking 50.
Yeah, okay, that's good too.
Just because I've seen the previous campaigns, and I know, like, and I've seen Pumat Soul before, and I knew they were going there because they went to Zadash. I felt a little misled that they said that they were like, "Oh, I didn't realize we're going to Pumat Sol." I'm like, of course you are. You're in Zadash and you're looking for magical items. My first thought was 50,000 so that they could buy whatever the fuck they needed for each person, because those things are
Yeah.
expensive.
Yep.
Like 10,000 sometimes, you know.
Well,
Even that robe that, like, if you're not wearing armor, it puts your base at 14 and then plus your dex modifier.
Yes.
What a beautiful item.
9,500 gold for that one.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, that was, I wrote down the Bow of Melodies, 8,000 gold, the Ashari leather, studded leather armor, 3,500 gold. Not such a big deal on that one. You could just get this extra spell out of it.
Sure, but 50,000 makes sense, so that you can get all that shit.
The robe of the Midnight Rune is really special. That was a really cool thing. That's very
Huge.
neat. Yeah, it's a big one.
And the harp is wow. You know, I mean, for one, you can play a harp, and if Yasha
you're
had
proficient,
this,
and then you get advantage on performance checks, and then it shoots magic missile and thunder wave. It's like does thunder damage or something like that.
It does thunder damage instead of piercing damage. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's thunder damage with your something modifier, your spellcasting modifier or something, or your something modifier. I forget what it is.
It sounds right to me. Yeah.
It might be homebrew, so it might be different, but I found it on Wikipedia or credit or something. One of the D&D things.
So the question was like, what do you think? Like, was there some kind of motivation behind Matthew as far as letting them choose a number?
I think he just rolled. He was like, just tell a number, and he had a number in mind, and they undershot.
Just like a DC or whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
Huh. Okay. Because I do like to, I mean, these guys have been playing for such a long time.
That's my point.
They've been at level 13 before.
That's my point.
But they are, like you say, D&D broke. So, like, asking for 20 grand, that is not hard at all. If they said 20 grand, they probably would have had the same reaction.
Probably.
Can we get 20 from the coffers? You know?
Yes. He's like, shit, we should have asked for 50. Yep.
Yeah.
I think they go, I think if they ask for 50, they don't get it. I think they would have.
Right.
They would have
They'd
been
have
like,
to roll for it. If you get an natural 20, they'll give you 40.
We physically do not have that much. The most we can offer you is like 20.
They could give them 30 or 40 if they get in touch with the fucking Whitestone motherfuckers.
Yeah, probably.
The Derolos.
But whatever. I mean,
yeah. Anyway, so that was my question, because I felt like that was a little bit... I thought it was well handled on Matthew's part. And like when they said 10, I was like, ooh, that seems a little bit low. And then, okay, here we go. And now they can't afford all the shit they want. Yeah. Go ahead, you got a yes and for that one?
Yeah, but I'm shifting gears and I'm going to the end game on this episode.
We're already 30 minutes in, so don't be worried about cutting this one short. If we go 45 minutes, no problem.
I'm just gonna go straight up. I'm gonna go straight to the very end when Delilah makes an appearance. Not at the very end, but when Delilah makes the appearance out
Close
of
to it.
when Laudna's crafting and doing, she's like, I'm the last one up. So she's animated some objects and she's doing the thing. And then she stares at the sword and she's like, or I'm sleeping. And Matt's like, he's been sleeping for a couple of hours now. Immediately, my brain goes, who the fuck sleeps with swords on their back? And
he has it vined to his back, right?
Nobody sleeps with swords strapped to them. Nobody.
Right.
This is breaking rules of D&D. You do not sleep with your armor. You do not sleep with your weapons. Otherwise, mechanically, you suffer points of exhaustion. It's just the way the game is played. So,
unless you specifically state it, I'm sleeping with my armor on.
This table constantly forgets that if you're sleeping with your armor, you're suffering points of exhaustion.
I'd have never heard that before.
Sleep. If you're sleeping with your weapons, like you can have your weapons at reach right beside you, but you can't physically, it says in the rule books, you're not allowed to have them on you. It's the same with armor. You don't sleep with your backpack. You don't sleep with your coin purse. You don't sleep. Those things get put to the side.
I barely sleep with boxers on, for fuck's sake.
There you go. So it's like, I'm like, the very fact that they were, he was like, no, it's vined. He's made a vine hilt. And really cool. I love the flavoring, but no, not when you're sleeping, not like that. Like that shouldn't be allowed. So that's from my thing. But that being said, they did allow it for flavor, and it's totally fine. I get that. That's not my table. It's not.
It's good for story. Yeah.
It allows for it, but this whole thing, like again, Marisha Laudna, vis-a-vis Marisha, uses the wrong spell to do the thing that she wanted to do and causes. She should have done blight, and she acknowledged that. She's like, no, I should have used blight. I
She said
shouldn't
it
have used.
later, right?
Yeah. Well, she thought about it, and then she was like, no, I'm going to do Wither and Bloom instead. And it's like that is a sphere, and then blight is a targeted spell, so it's
Right.
it would have been way better. But
I
so
think
she does this thing.
she did that
makes
because
a
I think
mistake,
she
and she does.
didn't want to hurt Orem.
No, clearly not, but she did, and then does darkness, which compounds everything,
Yeah.
and then goes.
Let's
and
get
then
into it, man.
becomes,
Let's get into it.
Then it becomes a giant manipulation, gaslighting conversation about
Between
all kinds
Delilah and
Right.
other people. Yeah.
Listen, top tier fucking role playing by Marisha. I think that she fucking nailed how Laudna would react in this situation. Lying by not lying. Like she didn't lie, but she lied like a fucking champion because
Right.
she's like, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. It was all. Then keep the quiet part.
Yeah.
It's her. It's Delilah. It's not
Yeah.
me.
And they reference that
blah.
later. It's like, I've
Yes, they
never
do.
lied to you.
Yeah.
And I think she even goes out of character and says, like, I've never lied to her. I think she was saying to
Laudna,
Matt.
she even says, she's like,
Like,
Laudna's
she
never lied.
believes
And it's
that
like,
she's never lied to her. Yeah.
That's right. So one of the things that happens in Beacon, the new subscription service that Critical Role has,
Right.
is that they do a thing called a cool. Well, they've always done this, but now they're not streaming. They're offering
selling.
they're selling the cooldown, which is the conversation, the half hour or so conversation that they have after they turn the cameras off or after the stream cuts.
Based on our show, do we need to get an account for this thing, man?
We might need to. I think we might need to. Well, I read about it on Reddit, and people talk about it often. And one of the things that they talked about is that they go around the table, and everybody at the table had a point to say about this conversation, about how what they like. Taliesin was like,
it was
Ashton
long.
kind of, yeah. Ashton believes this about Laudna and is like on kind of Laudna's side and for these reasons, but doesn't think that and thinks this. Okay, and then Imogen is like, well, Laura is like, well, Imogen feels like this, and Ashley says about Fern, and they all go around and they decompress, and that goes in, and they do this for the audience now, which is kind of cool. We get some inside stuff about what the characters are actually feeling and thinking, in that it gives a little bit more insight into what's going on.
I'm a little split, because like if they're doing this for an audience, then they're not necessarily doing it for themselves anymore.
It's also true. I know. I was thinking the same thing. It also means it might be slightly contrived because they do know that it's going out there now. Apparently, they've always done this, and so you think that in the spirit of that they wouldn't change much, but they're actors, right?
Yeah.
We know that 100% of actors act differently when they know the cameras, the little red light is on.
Yeah.
So,
because like, would you say that like our conversations before and after podcasting, have they changed?
They're a little different.
Yeah, we know we're on camera. We're nowhere. Yeah.
Tonally, they're slightly different. A little bit more hammy, a little bit more whatever. We do the thing, but
especially
absolutely.
on your part, you're fucking out of control, man.
I wrote this down because it's a kind of an important part. It reminded me, this whole PvP with Orem and Laudna.
I think the word is remound. Remound you. I'm being a jackass. Go ahead.
Oh, it reminded me of.
Yeah. Is that the right word?
Bo and Caleb in the swamp with Kaliana's bowl, the bowl that they were in there.
The Bullgate. Yeah, Bullgate.
Bullgate, right, where Caleb wanted it and Bo took it.
Oh, wow. I didn't think about that.
I was like, immediately,
it's the same two people.
They've done this before. These two fucking stubborn sons of bitches that are just bashing each other against each other like this. And it was interesting to watch that because this was similar. Liam showing Orem's frustration and Caleb showing Caleb's frustration, and Bo's pig-headedness, stubbornness, and Laudna's like, I need it, you don't need it, why do you want it? It really brought me back. Like their player personality carried through into the character personalities both times.
That's quite, yeah, I can't believe I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
However, like, I guess maybe the reason that I didn't maybe think of that was that I was 100% at every moment on Orem's side.
No, yeah, I think most people are.
I think everybody
The
was because
only
like it was
the only reason
Delilah
I
talking, not Laudna, right?
right. I was
Or
just gonna
half and
say that
half.
the only way you can possibly think that Laudna is right about anything that she said is if you take it from Delilah's perspective.
Right.
Then it's
It's like,
justified,
oh, it
and
makes perfect
only then.
sense.
Yeah,
In
Laudna
which
doesn't.
case, we see Marisha doing fantastic role
Yeah,
play.
well, she said
She's
that.
sitting there as a person
Yeah,
agreeing with Orem, but
yep,
saying shit
yeah,
for
yeah.
it's just top tier.
My DM in my other campaign sent me a message about an hour ago, and I got his permission to say this. So
Oh, here we go.
I'll quote. He didn't. I asked him. I said, "Hey, do you mind if I use that on our thing tonight?" And I'll quote what he said. It made me laugh. Uh, After watching the latest Critical Role, Laudna is officially my least liked PC in all of Critical
Oh
Role.
no.
It's a good thing that the actual players are friends and can differentiate from characters and the players.
Right.
And I was like, wow, that's a bold statement. It's funny.
That's quite
So
bold. Yeah.
yeah, he full on, he was like, I'm like, wow, well listen, I'm like, I'm not gonna say my least favorite, but I will say it was fucking uncomfortable and awkward, and the level of toxicity at that table. Listen, man, 99% of tables out there, she's asked to leave. Real honestly, that's I'm not making that up. You Reddit. I hate fucking quoting Reddit, but it's good because there's a lot of people there. Is the our D&D is chock filled with stories of people coming in and saying, "Hey guys, I got a toxic player at my table that just wants to do this. Hey guys, I got a problem with a toxic player that it's a
submission.
daily thing."
It's a daily submission.
There's always somebody complaining about a player doing shit like this.
It's not pinned
And
yet. Just like, hey,
the
listen to this and do this.
the more than unanimous consensus of people that respond are like, politely ask them to leave and never come back.
Yeah, that's easier said than done. For
Yeah.
fuck's sake, like
Yeah.
that's not the input. That's not the input they're looking for.
No.
They're looking for like,
No.
oh, this is a friend of mine. How do I ask my friend to like stop doing this?
So
Or
in this situation, yes, they're very lucky that they're all such good friends, and they also know that there is a way out, or maybe not. There's part of me that kind of hopes that this ends tragically for them and Laudna, that this creates a wedge so deep that they can't reconcile, and they're forced to throw down or walk away permanently.
this brings me into this note. I'm not going to roll it or yes hand it, or I'm just going to go into it. The other people listening to this conversation, there were other people around, correct?
Yeah, they all were.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
they're not going to acknowledge that she's talking crazy,
Enablers.
or are they like
No, these are like
as players or characters?
Your good friend is a drug addict, and you're just like, oh no, it's fine. They'll be fine.
Yeah, they're just having
don't worry.
withdrawals, or
Yeah.
they're just high.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like
Enablers.
they're sitting there, they're
Enablers.
watching her, and they know what she's on.
Imogen
She's on
was the
Delilah,
worst.
right?
And this is I'm
but-
not
but-
faulting.
but-
I'm not faulting the players. Like,
Hold
Orm
on.
yells out plainly.
Hold on. Let me finish though. It's like, are they going to acknowledge that she's either going through withdrawals or she's on the drug again, which is Delilah, right?
Yeah.
Or do they understand and they need to give her space and patience? It's like, okay, so let's just watch this play out. Because they're all just
What
sitting
did
there
they
just,
do
like,
with
watching.
Ashton? What did they do with Ashton when he took the shard and tried to get away with it?
Well, they cast him down. They were like, "What the fuck
Right.
did you do?"
There's your answer.
I don't understand how that's the answer.
They did something completely different with Ashton
Yeah.
than they're gonna do with Laudna. Why?
Oh, so you're saying that like they're going to respond to it the opposite of what they did? Wait, but what's wrong with how they responded to Ashton? How they responded to him was on point.
Nothing,
Was great.
Nothing is really wrong with how they
It's
responded
like,
to
you
Ashton.
fucked up. They
What I'm
told us
saying is-
specifically, don't do this.
They're not going to do that with Laudna because this is where it gets metagamey, because it's Marisha.
That's what I'm saying, kind of.
Yeah.
It's like
Yes.
it feels a little metagamey.
Yes.
It's like, oh, we're just going to
Yeah.
let this play out. It's like, dude, what is Chetney doing right now? What the fuck
Yeah.
is Imogen doing right now?
Yeah.
They're just watching them, and Laudna's clearly not Laudna.
Orem calls out at the very beginning, is anybody going to do something about this? Like he
He does
cries out.
quite
Yeah.
early. Yeah.
feel free to jump in here. Like I think that's plaintive.
He was speaking my language when he said that.
I think that's mostly Liam being like, fucking guys, like
Yeah.
help me here.
Yeah,
I need
this
some
person
help.
killed my husband and my father.
Father, husband, and me.
And he's like, "Do I really need to explain this again? What the fuck is going on here?"
And then Dorian comes in with the it's just a tool thing, which is, I think that one's a rough one because
and it's controversial. Yeah,
I'm gonna really go off script here and say the thing. I'm gonna say the quiet part out loud, but this is like NRA logic with guns. Because guns don't kill people, people kill people, and these are this 8 of them are all fucking Hollywood actors, which are by and large against that sort of talk. They're very much on the left. This is the left, right.
Yeah.
This is left.
If you put your hands up, the one that makes an L is your left.
Yes, that one.
I had this happen with my students just last week.
Yeah.
One kid went like this and he got confused.
They're all clearly like they're very progressive liberals that believe a certain way. And as soon as Robbie started saying, or Dorian starts saying that it's just a tool, it's not a real thing, it's the person behind it, I'm like, oh, this is not going to go over well. They're not going to like that. And sure enough, they didn't. And then you start getting into this like, okay,
it's a magical
well, how do
world. We have sentient weapons. Yeah.
And I mean, Identify doesn't Ferncast Identify does not acknowledge cursed items. Identify clearly says it does not. No, Identify, and I don't believe it identifies sentience as well. I'm unsure about that.
It just
I meant to
tells
look it
you
up,
what the magical.
It tells you the magical properties. It will not say if it's cursed or not. So a DM can hide cursed items with behind, and Identify won't acknowledge it or doesn't recognize it.
That makes a ton of sense. Like when Notch, before he became Veth.
Yes, they had that dagger.
Yeah, dagger that he was like, dude, I was so close to dying or whatever, you know, because like identifying it did not tell me it was cursed, but he still responded as though it was cursed, which is top-notch roleplay. Once again.
So that's sort of like the thing that I'm talking about here is like, we have all of this. We have all of this gaslighting. We have all of this, and it's not her. It's Delilah, but it's also kind of her. But they're taking Imogen takes Laudna's side first and foremost over everything, and that's Laura with Marisha. There's a lot of that. Taliesin is number 2, and that's Taliesin and Marisha. Even though Ashton really has no reason to do that, it's very much no, I'm going to take this side because he should be realizing what actually is going on here. Chet takes Orem's side more so. Dorian 100% does. And then you have Fern, who doesn't really say much of anything at all, which is weird because she's with Orem first. So she should be the first one on Orem's side.
But she's also Fae, so she likes chaos.
Also that.
Yeah. Like when I saw Laura playing Imogen, right? But I felt like it was Laura. She was taking Laudna's side a little bit, but I was also like, Imogen understands that she gets her boons from this Delilah bitch, right? Mm-hmm. And God, I don't like using that word, but whatever. So she's like, okay, but hold on. So I'm going to defend my girl, but also like everybody. I'm sure everybody at the table, everybody listening was like, dude, Orem is on the right side, of course. But to imagine trying to role play that shit going against like the fiber of your being.
It's hard.
Well,
Marisha even acknowledges it at one point, right? She hits Travis. She's like, this warlock shit is hard. Like it's like right. It's like it's a genuine thing that she says to Travis, and Travis is like, yeah.
Man, it was good shit though, man.
Real good. Hey, I hate to do this, but I wouldn't mind on that note kind of wrapping things up because
let's wrap up.
I got a lot to do tonight.
Yeah, hey, let's do it. Yeah. We're at 50 minutes. We want to go short anyway.
Yeah.
I got a couple of things to say about Pumet, but that can come up later, and I'm pretty sure that can come up next time. It's not that important. But we're not struggling for time, so it's no big deal.
Yeah. Cheers. I appreciate it.
Yeah, hey, no problem at all. Hey, what are we doing here? So Ben is on social media at bengreenspoon. I'm on social media at drummatucka, AA at the end of those. Drummatucka, one word. No shows coming up. Shit, what am I promoting? Oh, I'm gonna start some private drum lessons. So if you're in the Taiwan area, get in touch. If you're any skill level, even higher than mine, which is impossible. um, I got a nice little drum place just down the street over here that
Down
has
in
been there for.
that back room behind you there.
I don't know if I could teach on this motherfucker, but it is hooked
No,
up and it
no,
sounds all
you
right.
just you're like you said I got a drum room just over there, and then you pointed in the room behind you.
Oh shit! Yeah. See that throne right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're in the Taichung area, I'm gonna be starting lessons in the next week or two. So get in touch if you're interested. Shit. If you anything to add to this conversation, get in touch with the comments down here.
We did have a comment from Intoxicated Conqueror last week.
Always.
Appreciate
She's the
you.
best.
Yeah, the best. Yeah, just basically echoing our sentiments about how we feel about Beacon and Twitch and YouTube and things like that. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
I forgot
Yeah.
to mention that. I was going to mention that at the top.
I guess I'll have to read that
Cheers to you.
after the podcast. Sorry, Intoxicated Conqueror, but we appreciate you. You're always there for us.
Yep.
Hey man, if nothing else, let's get you out of here.
Good.
All right. Well, don't forget to love each other. We got another week, right?
We do. We got one more and then the break.
All right, cool. And then after
And
that,
then
I'm
the live
sure.
show. Woo.
That's right. Oh, damn. But maybe we'll get another four-sided die before then.
We might.
Yeah,
Probably.
they like to fill that time up.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Well, don't forget to love each other. And is it finally Friday? Peace.
Peace, everybody.
There we go.
Love y'all.
Take care. Nope, that's Rollies.
Rollies.
There it is.
12.
Wait, what do I get? 8. Right next to the 20.
Ben
Oh, man. All right. Peace, y'all.
See ya.